to generate new leads, new candidates, increase pipeline, schedule interviews, do screening calls, etc., etc. So that's a little bit more about kind of my role and the area of the business that I'm kind of supporting. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about yourself? Can you kind of give me a run through of your work history?
Yeah. So I have a 6 years experience in talent acquisition. I work with multiple regions across globe. One is Europe region and EMEA region and UK recruitment and APAC recruitment and Indian domestic recruitment I have done. In these 5 years, so I covered more into product hiring and service hiring for product customers. That's into networking, telecommunication, semiconductor, cyber security, data security, artificial intelligence. This type of domains I have hired, and I'm very expert in the engineering sector like embedded hiring, wireless hiring, Wi-Fi hiring. These divisions I'm very expert in that, automotive, infotainment, this domain. And coming to my recent experience, I have done Salesforce, ServiceNow, few application hiring. So ATS tools which I am expert in, SuccessFactor, Smart Recruiter and Workday. These 3 ATS tools I am expert. And job portals, I am a certified LinkedIn recruiter. I source profiles from passive and active candidates from LinkedIn. And a few other portals I used, Reed, Monster, and for our domestic, Naukri, JobStreet, few for APAC region. And my daily submission target is to submit minimum 8 quality and 5 resumes that should go to customer. Like that I target in my previous organization. And more customer focused interviews I do, like L1, L2 internal interviews and final customer levels of interview for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years for technical architects, project managers, program manager, product owner, techno-functional managers. For all these departments I have hired, and a few software engineers that falls mid-level and junior level. So that's my entire experience in my recruitment.
Okay. Thank you. That was good. Thank you. So obviously there will be a little bit of technical recruitment support, possibly. My colleagues Jack and Nihar, who are based in the UK, support our tech hubs. They tend to be predominantly Portugal for R&D and tech support, and then we have Barcelona, which is a software development hub, and then we have also Nihar supporting Cambridge specifically, which is high-level cryptography. So it's a lot of hardware engineers, R&D engineers, so technical people, which it sounds as though from your experience that's your area of kind of expertise, is recruiting for those types of positions. How do you feel about recruiting for sales positions, customer-focused positions?
Yeah. For R&D and product customers, usually they see from top colleges and very good ranked engineering sector, master degree holders. And when I go for some technical hiring in R&D department, they usually focus on certifications like CCNA, CCNP, CCIE, CEH, ethical hackers, and PMP, project manager certification, some Scrum certification. So few certifications required, and based on their previous exposure and previous domain experience and domain experts in particular areas, I also source the profiles like in that area. I asked the technical questions from the candidate. I understood their job interest, job level, where they are working, what projects they are working with, the technologies, which areas they are expert in, what certifications they have. So deep screening I do, and I understand the profile and submit it to the customer.
And so the reason I asked the question is sales recruitment is very, very different. Very different. You're not, as you said, when you see a technical person's CV, you can identify quite quickly that they have the relevant experience, because they basically need a qualification or a certificate in that area to be able to do that job. Sales is different. Sales that they're ultimately very good at projecting themselves, normally very good at writing CVs. My experience with sales guys is that yes, you're looking for certain experience with certain companies, but you only really know whether they're any good once you've got on the phone with them. There are a lot of people out there that put a lot of things in their CVs that technically are probably true, but once you actually speak to them about it, there's not a lot of substance behind that. My question really is, how do you feel about supporting the sales recruitment with Entrust? Because it will be technical recruitment and sales recruitment both have their difficulties, but sales is a little bit more exploratory. We have to ask questions a lot around quota, about how they're delivering, about what customers they're working with, how they're pulling together roadmaps, their involvement in proposals. How do you feel about moving from a role which is predominantly focused on technical to focus on sales?
Yes, I have done sales hiring in past 2 years. There is one customer who focused on only sales hiring, where B2B sales, B2C sales, and a few customers that I hired for across the globe. They asked to support for the UK, Europe, Spain, Switzerland, Italy, Netherlands. So few countries they need to support, and these type of sales managers that I have hired, like direct customer interacting, they should be from the product, like banking sector, BFSI, the customers like JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. So few customers the direct sales they will be doing in the banking areas. And automotive sector, I have done few for Robert Bosch, for automotive sector, automotive sales managers. I have hired head of the sales department. I have hired for these roles. I'm very capable to handle sales engineers and sales managers, sales head. I have done that.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. In terms of, as I said, at any one time, I can potentially have roles in eight or nine different countries, spanning from the UK, Germany, right through to kind of Australia. How do you manage? How would you go about managing a pipeline and prioritizing across time zones, across global time zones? How would you go about doing that?
Yeah. So globally, like there are some language barriers are there. French language expert, German language expert, and someone who knows to speak Chinese language. There are a few location and time zones and different stuffs that I handled, and that particular areas that which I need to target. That is the pinpoint that I'm strong in that area. Focusing on those candidates in that local candidates, local who can travel across like 50% to 80% traveling includes their job responsibilities. I have done that type of niche hiring.
Okay. Cool. Okay. And you mentioned that you've got you've worked for a number of kind of technology companies and supported their recruitment. Have you had much exposure to SaaS-based recruitment? So a lot of the products and solutions that we have hired or we are hiring for require knowledge of subscription-based software. Have you had much exposure to that kind of those types of people and trying to find those types of people?
Yes, I have hired that software related persons who can handle particular IT software, IT skills that they need to sell it to the customer or to the and end client. So I have done that type of marketing, and that person who knows from business development, pre-sale, who will be doing direct interacting with the customers for pre-sales, solution architects who does direct interaction with the many of our existing customers and bringing a new customer to the business. I have done this hiring.
Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. And just a quick question on your last role. So obviously, I think you were working previously for Himanshal, and you left there to go to Ixula. Why did you leave Ixula?
Yeah, so Himachal Futuristic, that was a good long 4 years I was working with this company. It was good, and that Ixula, just 3 months back I joined due to that uncircumstanced situation. Like I joined for Europe and UK recruitment, they wants me to work for India recruitment in Mumbai location. So I just surprised and I got that roles and responsibility which is not my expected and my previous experience, so I moved out from Ixula.
Okay. Sorry, just give me 2 seconds. I'm just writing some notes. Perfect. Okay, cool. In terms of, you briefly kind of covered it in your opening monologue. Can you kind of give me a more detailed kind of overview of what job boards, what systems you have typically used to try and source direct candidates?
Yeah. So job portals I used mainly like 90% LinkedIn recruiter license platform. I'm a certified LinkedIn recruiter, and I also post jobs in JobStreet, Read UK, Monster UK, Indeed, few other portals, and I have a free licensed portal iimjobsiris.com for tech hiring. I have used these two platforms. And coming to ATS tool, I am very expert in Smart Recruiter and SuccessFactor. I used Workday and Taleo, Smart Recruiter and SuccessFactor. And in my previous 4 years HFCL, I used SuccessFactor.
And those, so JobStreet, Monster, Total Jobs. Were you posting jobs, or did you have access to their CV database?
CV Desk, I have access to source the resumes.
Okay, perfect. I think, Ravi, have you got anything else you think we need to kind of cover off? I think from my perspective, Aaron's gone into quite a lot of detail in terms of kind of his experience and the systems. Is there anything you think we're missing?
I think he has agreed to work 5 days in office, and as well as he's agreed to do the clean room requirement which we have. We have to work inside the ODC, so he's aware of that. In fact, his wife is working in Wipro as well. So I think he has a place in Bangalore, so where he'll work from Bangalore fairly very quickly. So I think we are good from that factors, but from the process standpoint, I think he has made its point. I think I'm good from that perspective, James.
Perfect. Yeah. I think there was a lot of information and a lot of good kind of comments in terms of obviously the direct sourcing, CV database access. Although obviously this role will probably support the sales function, which is, I think there are transferable skills there that will make that kind of transition potentially easier. So perfect. I think from my side, I've got everything that I need. in order to kind of move forward. So I think, Ravi, what I'll do is, like I did last time, I'll write up some notes and I'll share that with the group and my recommendation, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Thank you, James. Thanks for your time, Arun, and I look forward for your recommendation, James. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's pleasure
Aaron,
talking to you. It's my pleasure.
too.
Nice talking to you, James and Ravi, and thanks for CDS to support for this schedule. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Arun. You have a good day.
Cheers, Aaron. See ya. Bye.
அவ்வளோதான் வச்சு ஒரு இன்டர்வியூனா விப்ரோட பர்மனன்ட் ஜாப் யூகே ரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட்டு